So to decide that, to choose what the next logical step is, knowing most of us are doing arbitrage in this community, how do I move from arbitrage to something that brings me more rewards? Well, one thing we look at is that balance between risk and reward. And generally where there's greater risk, there's more rewards, but we need a balance between the two. Remember, we're looking at our next logical step. It wouldn't make sense to just start something brand new that's very risky. You want to take what you've learned so far and apply that, and then move to the very next step to help you guarantee your success. So when looking at this logical step, the risk versus reward, you need to evaluate 4 different factors. That's how much money is it going to take? How much capital do I need to make this work? How much time does it take? Not only time in my labor, but also time to make the whole thing work, like getting the products turned over. I'm spacing on the word that I want there, our turn rate on our products. So is it a lengthy turn rate? Is it a quick turn rate? How much skill and experience is needed? And then effort. Is it going to take a lot of work? Is it effort that could be handed off to somebody else, to outsourced? So those are the things that we need to look at with any particular product sourcing model. Let's take private label sourcing for an example. And I know a lot of people hear about private label and it's the bee's knees. It's everything that you aspire to doing on Amazon, having your own branded line of products. Well, yeah, it is great. And there can be a very high reward with private label sourcing, but there's also an incredibly high risk. And of all the sourcing models on Amazon, there are more failures, more train wrecks with private label sourcing than any other method of sourcing products. And here's why. So taking a look at this full body bath pillow, I was just looking for a private label example on Amazon, and this popped up here for me. So you put it in the bathtub, it's full body, you can lay on it all the way, from head to toe basically. And if you want, you could brand it, put your brand name on it. Now this exact bath pillow is sold on Amazon as being a branded item, but there's also people selling the same thing, the same exact product without a brand on it, and that's called white label. So there's a lot of competition for this product, as there are for many private label items on Amazon. So here's what's involved with this. To be successful with private label sourcing, you need to do exhaustive product and supplier research. This is not just like, let's just go find a good product from a manufacturer and throw it up on Amazon. It's far more detailed than that. And generally, you need to spend many, many, many hours finding the right product. And you'll hear this again and again and again from private label sellers, how much research time they do finding the right product, and then finding the supplier, the right supplier for that product. You see, there's a lot of risk here because you require a large minimum order when you have a product made for yourself. So they call it MOQ, and frequently you'll find that the minimum order quantity, MOQ, is 500 units or 1,000 units or maybe even 5,000 units. It just depends on what you're having made and to what extent they need to customize it or to make it your own product. So there's a significant amount of money that goes into that. And because this is a brand new product on Amazon that's never been sold there before, there's no product page for it. You've got to build that product page. That takes additional skill and experience that as an arbitrage seller you may not have at all. And because you're competing against many other bath pillows, you're going to need to run advertising campaigns. There's another skill as well as an expense for this. Because it's private label, it's going to have a brand. And if you want it to be your brand, you're going to have to create and register a brand on Amazon. And that's a 9-month process, a minimum 9-month process, because you have to trademark your brand first before you can ever register it with Amazon. All together with the research, contacting a supplier who's usually overseas, bidding on negotiating on the product, having it made for you, and then shipped. Oh my gosh, the shipping right now is incredibly expensive and incredibly lengthy. I think most of you are aware that our ports have all these shipping freighters that are backed up because they can't get their products unloaded in our ports. It's just an incredible amount of time from when you invest in the product to when you actually get it to Amazon. And then the guarantee that it's going to be successful, there really is no guarantee. It is certainly the highest risk method of sourcing products on Amazon. If you do it right, there's a lot of reward. But if you go to Amazon now and you do a search for full body bath pillows, you'll find this one right away. It's obvious that it's successful, but you'll find many others that are way down in search. If you keep searching page after page after page, that are getting no sales at all. And they have this huge investment in a product, $5,000 or $10,000 invested in it with nothing, for no return at all for all their effort. So that's private label sourcing. And we're looking at the amount of money it takes, that's capital, the amount of time. Oh, I don't know why that jumped. Let's back up here. We're looking at the amount of time, we're looking at the amount of skill and experience and effort. Those are the 4 factors that we're using to evaluate whether or not we would want to do private label sourcing. So you can see obviously that I'm not suggesting you jump into private label here, not unless you do have a lot of capital, a lot of skill and experience, a lot of time, and you're willing to put in a great deal of effort and, absorb that risk or be willing to tolerate that high risk.
It used to be said if you're not online, you're not in business. That's from like 15 years ago. All right. Now it's that if you're not on Amazon, you're not in business.
Regardless of that big dream, you've got to build a foundation. You have to have a business that has cash flow.
You need more cash? Go out and source some more. Shove those products into Amazon. What's going to spit out the other end is profit. It's that simple, isn't it?
Then they start looking at it as, this really is a system. So how can I add more to my system? How can I start to scale this?
That's why this is so integral, each pillar leading up sequentially to that long-term reliable business.
These are the real assets then that somebody who wants to buy a business, this is what they look for.
This is the brand launcher, the career launcher, the income launcher. It's a beautiful thing. And I know you're going to love what this can do for you. You're going to get a vision. You're going to get a vision to grow your business, to sell it for a profit, kind of show your pals, your friends, your family.
Yes, you can make $1 million just selling on Amazon alone.